What's up, Bulldog fans? I'm Hailey Tucker for SWOSU Athletics, and today on my segment of Hanging with Hailey, I have here with me head golf coach Brad Fleetwood. Coach, thanks for coming out this morning and hanging with us.
You bet, Hailey. Thanks.
And I just wanted to start off with your girls team because they just finished second at the Central Region Preview. Gloria Choi, she finished first overall. I mean, talk about her performance there and your team's performance as well.
Yeah, it was overall a really good tournament for us. That's a big event. We kind of have bookend events throughout the year. The first tournament of the year is our fall preview that we have, and then the last regular season is the spring preview. So it's the majority of all the teams in our region. So it's kind of our last opportunity to see each other before everybody goes to their respective conference championships. So the field was great. So for us to finish second was really good. It was a little disappointing. We had a lead going in the last round. Girls played really well on the first day, had a lead. Didn't play like we wanted to the last day, but at the same time, Arkansas Tech really came back and played good. And we could have played really well and still possibly not have caught them that day. They had just played that well. So still good. Second place finish in that event is very good. So Gloria, yeah, she played incredible. She's been battling a little bit of an injury, so that was really good to see her perform the way that she did. Played really solid the first day, but really came out and was a big confidence booster for her. She's won tournaments in the past, but not quite in the style that she did this one. And so she went out on the final 9 that day, shot 2 under par, which was really good on a really good golf course. Finished it off in style with a great birdie on the last hole. Got into a 3-way tie for that win, but came out in the playoffs. So very proud of Gloria and her win. Very well deserved, and again, a good tournament for our women.
And then speaking of the good tournament for the women, Emily Paulson and Elin Whalen, they both just soar every single tournament. Talk about how they have come so far since their freshman years. Yeah.
Elin and Emily, they have similar games in the style that they play. So they're very mature golfers. They play within themselves, and they're patient out on the golf course. And so they've both come a long way. Emily being our lone senior this year, very proud of what she's done. Really had a good senior year, and given us some really good scores this spring, especially, but really all year. And Elin's she's just kind of been a model of consistency her whole career here. So again, she gave us a really good round in that first round, and she's played really solid this spring. And yeah, they've been very instrumental in the success we've had.
Switching over to your boys team, it feels like they have a different leader every single tournament. I mean, it just helps your team so much. So talk about the boys and how different leaders every tournament have so much success with the team. Sure.
We just got a really new dynamic of a team this year than we had last year. I mean, we graduated 5 seniors. 4 of those seniors were in the top 5 there at the end of the year. We lose a guy like Stefan Idstam, who was an All-American, our first All-American in almost 20 years here. So he was clearly a leader on our team, and so we brought in 5 new players this year. Majority of them all freshmen, and so right now we have 3 freshmen in the lineup, a sophomore and a junior. So we don't even have a senior in the lineup this year. So I've been really proud of what they've done this year. We've had some ups and downs, and we kind of anticipated that, just going through some growing pains, and especially with a lot of freshmen in the lineup and young guys who hadn't seen a lot of playing time from a collegiate standpoint, just kind of learning their way around, and they've done a really good job with that. And so, yeah, we've Kason Cook has probably been our most consistent player as far as giving us scores. He's been good from day one, really, as a freshman coming in, but he's had a really good sophomore season this year. And then, yeah, like you said, we've had different guys that have led tournaments, or led our group in tournaments anyway, all throughout the season. So which is good. It shows that we've got some depth there, and we've got some talent all the way through our lineup, and even with guys that aren't currently traveling. And so it's good to know that you can have a team that any given day, any given tournament, somebody can step up and be that leader score-wise. So.
Well, you talked a little bit about Emily, how she's a senior, and then now that the boys don't have a senior, how does that affect recruiting? I mean, and how do you recruit players to come to SWOSU?
We, as people probably know by now, in our rosters, we've got a lot of international kids, and so. But we also still have a lot of Oklahoma kids and local kids, and a few from Texas, and so yeah, it's, again, every year's a different dynamic. Right now, our recruiting needs on the guy side are not near as high as what they were last year. I brought 5 guys in, and so we've got a really young group. And so, again, every year, and especially since I don't keep really large rosters on either side because I do both teams, our recruiting needs are definitely different every year. So yeah, and then we're gonna switch over. Although we lose Emily this year as a lone senior and a very significant part of our lineup, next year we'll have 4 girls that'll graduate. So that will change a lot on that side. We're gonna go through that same scenario on the women's side in a year from now. And so, but yeah, it's. I'm very pleased with the teams that we have right now, both men and women. Again, they've proven to be very competitive girls on a national level right now. And so, and then our guys just really excited about their future because they've really made some improvements. And hopefully this year we're a bubble team right now in the central region. And so hopefully we'll sneak into that. And if we do, that'll be a huge accomplishment for those guys.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And with the recruiting, you can say, hey, we go to Pensacola, Florida. We go to Miami. You just got back.
Sure, we do that. Those are important trips for us. We kind of have, as I've mentioned in the past, they kind of have dual purposes. It's an opportunity for us to get out and see teams at a national level that we don't typically see. Both of those events, we saw the number 1 team in the country. On the women's event, we saw the number 2, number 3, number 5, and number 6 team in the country. So it was a loaded event. And then we purposely, obviously, go to some nice places. One, we want to chase a little warm weather this time of year because it's a little inconsistent. So so we chase a little warm weather and go to some places that on our schedule, hopefully will attract some recruits because again, that we want to show that we're getting out from a competition standpoint and then getting out of our region and seeing some other places and seeing some other teams.
You talked about weather a little bit. How different is it for you to play the course in Weatherford and with the winds and the 20-degree weather to 90-degree weather? How does that affect you especially when you go to like Florida and it's warmer and humid?
Sure.
How does that affect you guys?
Well, I can promise you we don't have any problem adapting to the warmer. I can tell you that. That's not an issue for us. But no, being in Weatherford, and Coach Saunders hit on it when he spoke with you as well about, we look at it as an advantage for us. Playing in calm conditions, playing in nice conditions, anybody can adapt to that. It's the other way around that's a lot more difficult to adapt to. So for us, it's not that the golf course or the tournament or anything becomes easier for us. It's just from a mental side, I feel like we're pretty prepared in those situations and not as intimidated as maybe some teams that don't see that. And so yeah, and we had a windy day in Florida when we were in Miami with the girls, and it really, I think it was to our advantage because we were able to move the leaderboard that day, and a lot of that had to do with our girls just really, for us, it wasn't that windy of a day, but we kept hearing complaints about how windy it was. And
Used to it.
Yeah, and so anyway, it's an advantage to us. It doesn't always make it enjoyable. Especially this last week, we've had winds that in my 5 years here, I haven't experienced this kind of wind. So I'm trying to tell my players that it is windy here, but not quite what it's been the last week or so. But yeah, it's certainly something that it plays to our advantage. I feel as if anyway.
Well, heading into the GAC tournament championships, what are you expecting from both of your teams in that tournament?
Just like we have any year, we're going to go to try to win the tournament, and so it's something that has escaped us, and we haven't quite been able to accomplish, and that's certainly been something that's been on our minds. And as each passing year goes by, and we've gotten close to winning, a couple runner-ups for the guys, and a whole lot of third-place finishes for the girls. From the standpoint of ability to win, both teams certainly have the ability, but there are some really good teams in our conference right now. Arkansas Tech on the women's side, as I mentioned earlier, is playing really good right now, and they've won multiple conference championships in a row. Arkansas Tech on the men's side is a really, really good team this year. Henderson State, who's won the last few years on the men's side, is playing well too. So, right now we're just going to go, and we're going to just. We've kind of talked a lot about this spring, just focusing on the process. We can't control what anybody else does. We can only control what we can do. And so we're going to go out, and we know the golf course. It's Hot Springs, where we've been for several years now, and so it's not an issue of not knowing the golf course. Although we will have some young guys that have not seen it, but for the most part, we've got a lot of experience. So we're just going to go out, and again, there's not a team that we're going to see this week that we haven't beat at some point this year. So, it's all about, like any sport, it's about doing it at the right time. And so hopefully we'll we'll be peaking and we can put 3 rounds together. And I feel like if we do that and we play the way we're capable of playing, that both teams will have a chance to win.
Well, Coach, thank you so much for coming out and hanging out with us today, and good luck this weekend.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And make sure you wish your Bulldogs good luck as they head to Hot Springs, Arkansas for the GAC Tournament Championships.